Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So we are continuing to read the book of Targheeb, chapter number 14. The title is Maximum Rewards. Aqsa ma fil ajr. The introduction. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of the whole universe. He created us as human beings with love and mercy. He knows us better than we know our inner selves. He showed us the right way how to enjoy life and get credits and blessings in this world and in the hereafter. He prescribed for us rules and regulations for our benefits. If we follow them, we will get credits. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows our weak points. In case we are sick, sleepy, traveling, or lack of foods and water, He gave us the alternatives to do the least and to get the maximum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most generous, the most loving, the most merciful, and the most forgiver. General rules and regulations. It is understood that there are rules and regulations for any prescribed functions in Islam. For example, Salat means prayer. Muslims have to pray 5 times daily. They have to have wudu before Salat. Wudu means washing your hands, your face, your feet, your ears, and your neck in a certain way. It's called process of performing wudu to purify yourself, to make yourself presentable in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they have to have wudu before Salat, and they are to make sure that their body is clean and their underwear and overwear are also clean. They have to pray standing, bowing, and prostrating. There are some situations that a Muslim cannot do the Salat, cannot have a prayer with these rules and regulations. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful, had given us alternatives whereby we will do the shortcuts and get the maximum rewards and the most blessings. So what are the shortcuts? There are so many shortcuts in the teachings of Islam. Usually all the rules and regulations are built on moderation. However, for every moderate teaching, there is a shortcut. By following and applying the shortcuts, one will get the maximum rewards as if he performed the maximum. This particular topic is long enough to be covered in one chapter. It needs a book by itself. However, some of the shortcuts are to be presented here. We hope and pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept our efforts and approaches. Ameen, summa ameen. So the first one is Salat, like prayer, and the first shortcut is when we are traveling. For a traveler, what is the prayer? A traveler is to reduce his Salat, is to reduce his prayer from 4 to 2 rakats, like cut it in half. He can, instead of performing 4 rakat long prayer, he can perform only 2 rakat long prayer. Moreover, a Muslim is to join Dhuhr with Asr, like you can join the afternoon and late afternoon prayer, as well as Maghrib with Isha. Like you can combine the Maghrib and the evening and late evening prayer into one. Lack of water. What if you don't have water and you need to perform the wudu? If there is not enough water, a Muslim is to do tayammum. We call a process that you purify yourself even without using the water. Just to wipe his face and arms only. In the Quran, in Surah Al-Nisa, Surah about the woman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the following, and I'm reading the translation, and it is the Surah number 4, and it is the ayah number 43. O you who have attained to faith, do not attempt to pray while you are in a state of drunkenness but wait until you know what you are saying. Nor yet while you are in a state requiring total ablution until you have bathed, except if you are traveling and are unable to do so. But if you are ill or are traveling or have just satisfied a want of nature or have cohabited with a woman and can find no water, then take resort to pure dust, passing therewith lightly over your face and your arms.
Like it?
Behold, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is indeed an absolver of sins and much forgiving. So these were the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taken out from Surah An-Nisa, ayah number 43. What about war? If Muslims are to defend themselves from the enemies that invaded them, they have the right to reduce their salat, their prayer, from 4 rak'ah to 1 single rak'ah, while the Imam is to continue 2 rak'ahs. In Surah Al-Nisa, Surah about the women, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the following, and it's a long ayah, and I am going to, actually it is from ayah number 101 to 103. And these are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the Surah Al-Nisa, Surah number 4. And the ayah number 101, 101 starts reading until 103 as, and when you go forth to war on earth, you will incur no sin by shortening your prayers if you have reason to fear that those who are bent on denying the truth might suddenly fall upon you. For verily, those who deny the truth are your open foes. Thus, when you are among the believers and about to lead them in prayer, let only part of them stand up with you, retaining their arms. Then after they have finished their prayer, let them provide you cover, while another group who have not yet prayed shall come forward and pray with you, being fully prepared against danger and retaining their arms. For those who are bent on denying the truth would love to see you oblivious of your arms and your equipment, so that they might fall upon you in a surprise attack. But it shall not be wrong for you to lay down your arms while you pray. If you are troubled by rain, or if you are ill, but always be fully prepared against danger. Verily, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has readied shameful suffering for all who deny the truth. And when you have finished your prayer, remember Allah, standing and sitting and laying down. And when you are once again secure, observe your prayer fully. Verily, for all believers, prayer is indeed a second duty linked to particular times of day. And then again, this was the Surah number 4, Surah Al-Nisa, ayah number 101 and 103. Duha prayer, Duha Salat, like the afternoon prayer. The word Duha is the time between sunrise and noon hour. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was asked by the poor Muslims at that time that the rich Muslims are getting good credits from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because they are generous, while the poor ones cannot donate as much as the rich ones. The Prophet, the Rasulullah ﷺ recommended them to glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after every salat. They are to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to say, God is the greatest, which means Allahu Akbar. Each one is a charity. Every Muslim has to donate daily equal to the number of tendons in his or her body, an average of 360 tendons. By praying 2 rakat Duha Salat, they will get the maximum of 360 credits and blessings. There is a hadith, the saying of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that goes as follows, and it is taken from Sahih Muslim, and this is about Abu Zar radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu reported that the Rasulullah ﷺ said Every morning, each has to make charity on each tendon of his or her body. Every glorification, which means tasbih in Arabic, is charity. Every praising, tahmeed is charity. Every pronunciation of oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is called tahleel, is charity. Every saying God is the greatest, which means Allah Akbar, we call it takbir, is charity. Encouraging people to do good is charity. Denying people from doing bad is charity. The shortcut for all these is to offer 2 rakat salat during Dhuhr time, after sunrise and before noon time. And this is taken from the Sahih Muslim. So what if there is no salat but you still get rewards? During monthly periods, Muslim women are exempted from salat till the menses are over. Although they are not to pray, but they will get maximum rewards as if they have prayed. Similar situation for women after delivery of a baby. They are exempted from salat for about 40 days. However, they will get rewards if they have prayed all that time. People should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He gave them exemptions with credits and rewards. No one human being will do that. The only one is the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious, the most merciful, and the most generous. What about fasting during the month of Ramadan or during ordinary days fasting? One of the 5 pillars of Islam is fasting the month of Ramadan, which is the 9th month in the lunar calendar. However, there are certain people who may not be able to fast for one reason or the other. Those people could be traveler or sick. They break their fasting and are to fast later. Moreover, women in their monthly periods or pregnant or nursing their babies are to break the fast and do it later. Any person who cannot fast at all is to break the fast without doing it again. All what he is to do is to feed one person per day. By so doing, they will get the maximum credits, rewards and blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What about reading from the Quran? There are many rewards, credits and blessings for those who read from Quran and try to understand the meanings of what they read. Some of these blessings are talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By reading in the Quran, a person is talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and at the same time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to that person. As reported by Dailami and Khatib on behalf of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam by saying, if any one of you likes to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he should read the Quran. 10 credits. By reading from the Quran, a person who speaks Arabic well and does read the Quran well, he or she will get 10 credits for every letter he or she reads. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned the following hadith, and this is taken from the Tirmizi collection. Anyone who reads one letter from the book of Allah will have a blessing and reward, and each good thing is equal to 10 rewards. I don't say Alif, Lam, Mim is a letter, but Alif is one letter, Lam is one letter, and Mim is one letter. 20 credits. For those who don't know Arabic well, by reading the Quran, they will get double blessings than those who know Arabic. The hadith goes as follows, the saying of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about this, and this is taken, this is a agreed upon hadith. Anyone who recites the Quran and is an expert in it will in the hereafter be with the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who are the noblest and the most honest, and anyone who recites the Quran with difficulty and hard pronunciation will have a double reward and blessing. What about attending the Quranic meetings? Any person who attends a meeting where the recitation of the Quran is being read and discussed, one will get a group of blessings, rewards and credits from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of those blessings are peace, tranquility, concord, relaxation and spiritual attainment. Mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covers them. Angels encircle them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions their name to the creatures in the upper heavens. In this regard, the hadith of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says the following, and it is taken from the Sahih Muslim, hadith number 1104. These are the sayings of words of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Any group of people who attend a meeting in a house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to read the book of Allah and to understand its meaning, peace descends upon them, mercy covers them, angels encircle them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions their names to those who are at his end. And with these we end this chapter. And we end this chapter by saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Thank you very much. Inshallah, see you next time.